Already the morning first session I gave a small brief for a talk, and this is some kind of an extension of that. I'm glad to be a part of this Andhra University Centenary and Stat Department Anniversary celebrations. I will tell you more about this year 2025 a little bit later. Actually, I am an alumnus of this Department of Mathematics of Andhra University. Perhaps you never heard about the course called Honors in Mathematics. It was a 3-year packed course of 3 years. It's called BA Honors in Mathematics during the year 1968 to 58 to 61. There's more than almost 7 decades. And I keep visiting the department once in a while. Some of you seniors know me because I give some talks to them. Maybe some of you are hearing me for the first time. I'm very glad to be here addressing you on this occasion of World Population Day. So, as I said before, why World Population Day? Before that, let's see. So we had a population of audience here some time back. And now we are a subset of just in this class right now. So this is you can consider as a part of the general population. And as I said earlier, we have to collect the data on the population. So we would like to next one. Yeah. So today it's called the World Population Day. Why is it called the World Population Day and why today? So it's actually the first World Population Day started in 1967. So why is it so? It became 5 billion, the whole world population has reached a power figure 5 billion, and therefore the United Nations Development Program thought that we must have do something for people to be made aware of this population increase. 5 billion is quite a lot even for the size of the whole globe. Therefore, they called it World Population Day and demarcated 11th of July to be the population day so that people will remember every year about this world population and so on. If you look at the latest census 2023, India had 143.84 crores of people. China had close to that 141.07 crores, and US had 33.49 crores. How small it is. So we are topping that, but as I said in the morning, it's not something to rejoice. That's something they're not topping something which perhaps we present not necessarily that should not be given any attention, but we have to take care of that. Next one, if we can take it. Next slide.
Next slide.
So, why are we celebrating this day? Okay. It's about the awareness of population issues, the implications of development, environment, and human life. That's what we are going to talk about. The awareness of what's happening and why should we be aware of that. So, population would be population would gain complete count. Uh, as we know, most of you are statistics students, and we know that population is a complete count, and sample surveys is. Excuse me.
Sir, 1 minute.
Hello. And your teachers have taught you on the first day that population is a complete count, whereas part of it, sample survey is a part of the population. I'll just give some few examples which you already know. Suppose that your director or your head of the department asks you to collect, go to the new batch and then collect the ages of all the students. So one way of doing that, as you know, is a collection of all the units, and then go to them and ask their ages. And if some people are not willing to give their ages, then they will try to tell them it's only for some statistical use and get the ages and so on, and get the complete count. On the other hand, if there's some smart student who already knows a little bit about sample service, he will say that I will not waste my time asking everybody. I will take a random sample. Based on that, I will calculate the ages and then calculate whatever parameter you want to estimate. We will say that suppose the population parameter, what is the average age of the students of the first year? We will say that the sample mean is an unbiased estimate. You already learned it, you have already done the course on that. Sample mean is an unbiased estimate. You will also say it's an unbiased estimate. We will go back to the department head and say, I have collected the data based on the sample. So it is sample mean, it's an unbiased estimate. But suppose the head wants to know more details. So he doesn't have that. There's only 5 selected random sample. If somebody else selects another 5 random samples, they will have another set of values and another estimate and so on. So obviously there is a sampling error involved in that thing. So he has to calculate that and so on. Whereas the complete numeration student who got data from everybody has got a complete list of that. The head of the department asked this. The head of the department asked that how many ladies are there and so on. Then the sample survey man won't be able to say that thing. Whereas the complete numeration tells us how many are of one gender and how many are of other gender and so on. So you get more details in that case. Only thing is it takes a little bit more time and so on. But we can't say always that is time wasting and so on, therefore I'll take a sample survey and so on. So the governments have decided that once in at least 10 years, you have to know the complete count of the people, and therefore you have got what is known as a decidial census. Next one. So when did we start this census? You know that we have got East India Company and the British ruled us for more than 200 years and so on. They were very good, efficient in the sense that the civil servants, ICS officers who came from England, they were taking care of lots of the railways, the bridges. All these things are old ones which they have all started. Educational system, colleges, teaching English. So along with that thing, the statisticians there thought that we should get a complete count. Therefore, they wanted to do a census of the population at that time in the 1800s. One set of investigators, they started counting, but it was an impossible task. In British India means its whole area and so on. So they couldn't do, they had only a partial census and they were not successful. But in 1881, they were successful and they got the first census of British India, 1881, first census. And they said that it's a lot of time and money is spent on that, so let us have it every 10 years. Within 10 years, there will be some change, but not that bad. It just doesn't jump in 10 years and so on. So they had every 10 years a decidial census, 1891. It continued every time, except till 20, up till 2001, and 2021 absent. Obviously, COVID. So nobody would go to houses and then collect data and so on. We didn't have the data. So what do we do now? Some countries, everybody, the whole world had the problem of COVID. But some people have devised some other techniques of collecting the data. Like, of course, many people nowadays have telephones and so on. So based on that, they were collecting data. A bit delayed, more than 1 year or so. Not 2020, 21, 20, 22, 20, they were trying to get some kind of a data on the various countries. But we lagged behind. India did not start doing this. It's only recently, for some reason, we did start in 2025. We are going to have a decidial census once again. So, as Professor Muniswamy said, the population center is very much involved in that thing. And from 2025 census, they will have a lot of activities done here. Next one. So what do we do if we don't have within the 10 years? In between, what do you do? Because you want to have some kind of a data and so on. So the government of India, there is something called the
Office of the Registrar General in charge, completely in charge of the census. He doesn't worry about crops or he doesn't worry about industries or everything. So he is worried only about the census. So the Registrar General's office will collect the data and they have got a is a large-scale demographic survey of a random sample of villages and urban blocks. They take a number of villages at random, go there, collect data, system where it's a continuous enumeration by somebody sitting there only temporarily in that village and town. And after that, somebody else comes and continues that thing, a permanent person, full-time person, he also conducted retrospective checking the data and so on, so they update every year. So we don't have to worry about the next 10 years. In between, we got the sample registration system, which helps us to get the data on the population. Next one. The last SRS data, sample registration 2021 we missed it, but 2022 they did some local data and so on. 2022 they had a sample registration data, and its result was out only in June 25 very recently, and it covered 8.7 billion population. So one thing good about this current census which is going to happen, as Professor Guruswamy will tell you, is they are planning to have a digital collection of data on mobile phones linked to the main server and so on. It's a difficult job and I hope it will be successful. Once you do the digital collection, then there is no problem. Analysis is very easy. So we all know, you're all experts in computer science and we can do it. So that is the digital collection, which is something which is the innovation in the present census 2025. Next one. Now somebody must have heard, being statistician, there's something called World Statistics Day. What is World Statistics Day? World Statistics Day started in 2010. It's a nice day. UNDP, United Nations Development Program. UNSD, United Nations Statistical Division. UNSD, they take care of only population and census, whereas UNSD takes care of all statistical activities in all countries. About 190 countries are registered under the United Nations. Because United Nations are a big boss. They are collecting data for the whole world and so on. They compare various countries and so on and so forth. So, the United Nations started what's known as the World Statistics Day in 2010, a nice date. And they said every 5 years we'll have a World Statistics Day, not like the world population, which is every year. Every 5 years is the celebration, and the next one will be 2010-2025. And what was the theme? Statistics Day theme? Quality statistics with data for everyone. So that is the recent theme of the 2025 coming up in October. Quality data, quality statistics with data for everyone. That was the idea. Next one. We have, on the other hand, what we are now talking about World Population Day. What we want here is quality statistics with data, not for everyone, but on everyone. Not just for everyone, you just don't give the data, but on everyone, each individual, the population, they want to collect the data. That is the difference between World Statistics Day and World Population Day. And the theme is, as in the morning, one of our commentators mentioned, the theme is the empowering young people to create the facilities they want in a fair and hopeful world. So it is the theme of the coming world population. Next one. Present day. As you all know, you must have seen in the papers and newspapers, TV programs and so on, the global fertility rates are falling. So this is called the population collapse. So people are thinking that we don't have to worry about the population increase, but then we have to population increase, but you have to think of population decrease. What is happening now? The fertility rate is now 2%, which is going to be rather not satisfactory. So UNFPA, United Fund and Population Activities, they conducted a survey. This also in the morning it was mentioned by one of our lady commentators. They did a YouGov survey of 14,000 in 14 countries. So they say that they did a survey and so on, but we don't know exactly how they did it and what they did. but let's hope that it will be good data and good collection. Therefore, based on that, they want to see what is the problem now, what is the need for the people, need to be happy and hopeful world. How can we get that one? Next one. So the result from the survey, what they found was most wanted good families, naturally. Most of us, if you come and ask me what do you want, a good family, well settled family with good salary and good benefits and all those things. Everyone will say the same thing. But what happened is prevented by social, economic and health barriers. So the people were busy with their work and so on. So they were busy with travel. Therefore, there is no question of planning family and so on. Therefore, fertility rate is coming down. So that is the problem, and therefore one has to encourage the youngsters to take care of that, to achieve what they want as a fair and hopeful world, provided this fertility rate increases. Next one. Next one. Before that, I will just go back a little bit and talk a little about what you all must have heard about Mahalala BC. You know, you had PC Mahalala BC, the founder of Indian Statistical Institute, and he did lots of things. That's another seminar, not today anyway. He was instrumental in starting National Sample Survey, instrumental in starting Central Statistical Organization, instrumental in starting planning division, so many things he did and so on. And most importantly, he is known for his Mahalarabi's distance. When you go to the second year, you will know what is the Mahalarabi's distance between two populations. 2 points is Euclidean distance, but you have multiple vectors. What is distance? There is something called Mahalarabi's distance. And he didn't know what uses are there at that time. But now it's very much used in machine learning and artificial intelligence. The distance between the artificial thing and the real thing, and then compare and so on based on Mahalarabi's distance. And we are now celebrating the 75th year of what is the National Sample Survey, along with the other important dates. And he wanted the RGI, the Registrar General in 1951, wanted to have a register of all the citizens, which is not possible. So he told him it's not possible to have a register of all the citizens and so on. But now again, there are some attempts to make some registers and so on of all the citizens and so on. So there are some legal difficulties, and as you must have read in the papers and so on. So what he said was, you take a sample and based on that we can find out what we need and so on. So he in fact tabulated the 1951 census data in ISI, and later on in 61, after the death of the AIDS, the person who took over was one Mr. Gopalaswamy, he was registrar at that time in 1948. He continued to 61 or so, and he decided to continue the census as we do every year and so on. No question of selecting from that 2% or 3%, analyzing and so on. He said the sample registration system will take care in the middle years and so on. So that is now a successful phenomenon, and we are happy that we are going through something, a good area where we can celebrate the census, next census which is coming up. Previous one, I just wanted to say, previous, next one, last one. Yeah, it's the only thank you thing which is there and so on. So I would like to thank you personally, not with the slide and so on. Thank you for your attention. So have a good population day.
Thank you very much, sir, for enlightening our students. Next, I request Sabiha, student of MSc Statistics, second year Andhra University, to mention brief about our guest of honor, Professor S. Ramakrishna Rao garu, former Vice Chancellor, Krishna University, Machilipatnam.
Respected dignitaries and my dear friends, a fine good afternoon to everyone. I am Sayyed Sabiha Banu, studying MSc Statistics in Andhra University. Ladies, it is my honor to introduce a remarkable individual whose dedication to environmental protection and academic excellence has made a significant impact in our community and beyond, Professor Sankari Ramakrishna Rao sir. Professor Rao sir retired from the Department of Civil Engineering of Andhra University, where served with distinction. His passion for the environment led him to establish the People's Environmental Protection Society, which affectionately known as PEPS, alongside esteemed colleagues like Professor T. Shivaji Rao sir. His contributions has not gone unnoticed. He is the recipient of the prestigious Dr. Raghupati Venkatramana Naidu Award for Outstanding Academic Achievement on the Capital and the Capital Foundation Award for his service to society and law. Thank you.
Thank you, Sabha. Now I request Professor Ramakrishna Rao. Thank you. Thank you. Before I start, I'll be just showing this particular video, which is developed, presentation by APJ Abdul Kalam. All of you, please watch carefully because this speaks about what would be the life in 2070. 2070. So our erstwhile President Abdul Kalam ji has developed this. This is because you're all youngsters, you will be living in 2070. So that's the reason I have thought of, just listen to it. Play change. Play. Okay. Music undi, but let them see this music. Just full button volume. Hello. Okay, before that, because there is a lot of adjustment there. Okay. This is no, Malli first nunchi album. Right, 2070. Give me, why it is not coming? Let it be like that only. The adjustment ke chala. Okay, just it explains that in 2070, the water will be scarce, air, you have to have a ventilated areas where you have to go, pay and go and take the oxygen. Normally, how many times you breathe? How many times you breathe in a day? Somebody knows? It is around 23,000 times in 24 hours. 23,000 times in 24 hours you will be breathing. That means so much of oxygen, of 16 kgs per oxygen is required per person. 16 kgs. That's the reason in the second phase of, you can just go ahead. Don't stop it. Okay. The water is so scarce that the women will not have hair. The washing and other things are very scarce. That's the reason he is expecting that the women will be without hair. Indu mali anak mundu kena lagi help ni, help leta. Let us continuously play. It is 10 minutes, so that slide by slide of them. Let it go. Let it go. Because they will be reading. All the rivers, lakes and dams and underground water beds are either dry or contaminated. So that is the scenario that would be in 2070. Industries will come to a halt, and water is the main reason. Workers receive part of the salary in drinking water. Just read that. Food is 80% artificial, synthetic. Water, 8 glasses used to be drink. Now only half glass of water will be available on price or payment. So dehydration is a normal ailment. Then ultraviolet radiation, then different types of things will be there. Then because of this, population reduces because the spermatozoa count and other things will go, and lot of difficulty is there for the progeny to have a good health. పర్వాలేదు తగ్గించి కొంచెం తగ్గించి పెట్టినా అదొని. So 137 cubic meter per day for adult person is required. The air is required, out of which 16 kgs is oxygen. 16 kgs. That's the reason second phase of COVID, many people died because of the oxygen requirement. More precious than gold and diamond. Water is so important. The seasons have been severely affected by the atomic tests and other contamination, 20th century polluting industries. When we wanted to say that please protect environment, nobody cared. I think now the time has come for us to take care of it. In short time, life on earth will not be possible as the destruction of nature reaches unrepairable or unrecoverable stage. Okay, I think. Okay, I think you can go for the presentation. Just put the first slide. So, from this particular presentation of 2070 by our erstwhile president, what we have learned that the future, the resource will deplete so much so that they will not be available as we are getting today. So from now onwards, we have to live to save them for the future generations or even for your own future. And most of the time, you can understand that the water is used for many different types of products. I can show you in the later stage. I can show you. Next slide. Okay. The I think it is the next. Oh no. This is not it. Population Day is not under such a. Okay. In fact, okay. That's the thing. Here, something else. Next slide. Okay. Now you see that the population, when it increases so much, will be having a lot of
pressure on the different types of infrastructure, development, resources, food, etc., etc. Probably you must be knowing that we require around 1800 kilocalories of energy per day, right? We require for our system to work. There are 8 or 9 systems in our body, 9 systems in our body, which will be working in integration. Unless until we have the energy, we will not be able to move forward, go, or work. Unless until we have that energy, you will not be able to function. All the systems will not function. So, keeping these things in view, we have to take care of the resource. I think I have given a definition of niche. Everybody has got that niche. Even the animals have got the niche. Niche is nothing but under certain sets of conditions. Conditions here are very, very important. Temperature, air, water, whatever it is, all the conditions. Under certain sets of conditions, an organism is capable of growing, developing, reproducing, and giving rise to offspring or the children or the beget children, and the same offspring is capable of living in such further sets of conditions. That means in the same type of conditions. That's the population. Because we are living today in such a particular earth is a one which will be providing us the oxygen, etc., food. We are living in this particular earth. So we have to actually conserve this type of protection, and we have to protect our own resources for the betterment of life. Or we have to create, that is called resilience. You have to create such conditions to live or to have a conducive type of environment. See, this is what in the morning also somebody was telling, has become part of the life. But radiation is such a horrible thing which you will not know how much damage it is causing to your own brain. And the more, the complex the telephone or the mobile, the complex is the radiation that will be emitted out. Yes, please. Next. You can see that by having this type of conducive environment, we can move around freely, we can empower the situations, and building, having greenery in our own areas will be creating such a conducive environment. Even the parks, etc., the type of plantation which we have, because you may not be understanding what is the good that will be caused, that will be given by the plants. They will produce oxygen. One tree which lives for 25 years, it can give 10 people the oxygen required for their life. And if you are owning a car, it will take away the oxygen of the 10 people if it is running for more than 25 years. So this is how the resources are balanced. If you are having a car, at least you have to actually plant 60 trees at least if you are having a car, so that it will produce oxygen such that at least another 10 people will be surviving for 25 years. Next, please. Okay, this is just to show you how important your body is. You will breathe for 23,000 times. You require around 1800 kilocalories, and your nervous system can carry the impulse for 200 meters within a second. The neural system is there in your body, and 200 liters of blood is filtered by your 2 kidneys, and your pump, a heart pumps 60 million liters of blood in your lifetime. Sorry, in a year. So that is the functioning system, and you have to protect your system, because unless until you protect your environment, because you are one part of the environment, and unless until you protect that environment, you will not be able to survive. So this is next, please. Next. And what is population 2011? 7 billion, and 2050 9 billion. It is going to increase to 9 billion in all population. And the resources extraction in 1900 is only 7 billion tons, and in 2050, that is within 50 years, it has increased to 140 billion tons. That means double has it has become, and you extract the resources so much so. And solid waste which are generated, everybody here will know that the next problem will be the management of solid waste. Because everybody will be producing around 500 grams of solid waste every day, per day. And you see that it will be increasing so much, the 2.6 billion tons by 2025. And Visakhapatnam itself, we are producing 1400 tons, metric tons of solid waste. Visakhapatnam itself, having 20 lakhs, 22 lakhs of population. You can see that so much of solid waste which is generated has to be managed, because unless until you convert, I don't know whether you know it or not, now APIIC, if you go to that website, you'll find that circular economy. Now they want to transfer this type of solid waste into usable products, including the e-waste. So you can, the future programs for you is you can start a business in your rural areas, in your place. The government is going to give you a lot of money for this type of circular economy to take care of this type of solid waste that will be generated in the future because of the increase in the population. Next, please. If we accepted that all people on earth are entitled to use as much resource per capita as of now, we need 8 such earths in future. By 2050, we need around more than 8 earths to sustain all of us using the resources. We don't, which will be supporting them. So imagine what could be the dimension, what could be the horrific state that will be there in future. So from now onwards, we have to live with it and we have to conserve these type of things. Next, please. Next. And why should we bother about it? Because we are saying that population has grown, but each person requires around 0.399 hectares. 0.399 hectares for living on the earth. What for? For food. You know, somebody is growing food. Some farmer is growing food somewhere in Amalapuram or some place, Kakinada, some place. That means that he is exporting. That solar energy that is trapped by the plants is being exported to you, and you are using that. And that land, which is, giving you food, is on your name. Nadi but he is growing and giving you the food. So you require that much of land. You require some land for your entertainment. Some land, parks are there. That will be for 100 people or 1,000 people. 1,000 people are using that space. And water resources. For instance, Megadrigata reservoir is there, Assam reservoir is there. That is, water is developed and the water is being sent to Vizag for your consumption. That means that much of land is on your name, or that much of land is being used to provide you the resource. So you have to protect those type of resources for future existence. Next, please. Okay, the future, it is by 2025. The condition he is showing, but now the wells are not there. We are extracting the groundwater. You can see this is in Rajasthan area. One well, so many people will be trying for get the water. Next, please. Now you can see that for 1 cup of coffee, you require 140 liters of water. That means equivalence. Unless until the plant takes up 140 liters, 1 cup of coffee will not be generated. And likewise, if you want to eat 1 kg of mutton, 1 kg of meat, it is equivalent to 30,000 liters of water. 30,000 liters of water. That means you are buying 1 kg of chicken or mutton or whatever it is equivalent to 30,000 liters of that is a resource. Unless until the animal consumes that much of water, it will not be converted into that muscles of 1 kg. So, my dear friends, you have to learn not to waste the food. Because once you are wasting the food, 2,000 liters are required for 1 kg of rice. So equivalence is that. One resource, you may say that, you go to the hostel, many people will be throwing the rice and other things, food. People will like it. Food may not be prepared properly. So you just leave it without concern about the background resource. So my dear friends, whenever you are using water or food, please be conservative in using that. Please be very judicious. Whatever you want, you take it, but don't waste it. Because once you are wasting, automatically you are wasting the natural resource, just like water. Just please, next. Okay, what 1700 liters for one cotton shirt, and paper is also that much equivalent to that. Next, please. So, what is happen? What would happen if the what do you call population increases? It transmits the diseases very easily through the air, through the water, through one thing we may not know, air, water, soil, you know that, but you may not be knowing fomites. What are fomites? Fomites are non-living objects which will be promoting the disease or which will be transferring the disease. What is that fomite? For instance, I have some old notes, let us say, old notes. I'll just show you. Okay, some note, yeah. Some note. Just like this note, just keep it in the water for 2 minutes or 3 minutes. How much of dirt will be coming out of it? Sometimes I see that people will be keeping them in the mouth, this type of notes. Handling. So handling of this type of non-living resources, and they will be causing the disease. Even many people will put the pencil in their mouth, sometimes pen in their mouth. These are all non-living objects which will be promoting the disease. You may not be knowing. Without your knowledge, the diseases will be transmitted. So be careful about this fomites. Fomites are non-living objects which will be promoting the diseases or transferring the diseases from person to person. Not only that, even the droplet infection. Even I am speaking or talking, if there are some droplets, automatically some of the type of organisms will be transmitted into your mouth. Mostly the TB is transmitted like that. Next, please. You see that how much of land we require. I told you already, 3.399 hectares. But when you are building the houses or in a complex, you have to leave some place or area open to the sky, because the rainwater has to percolate. Unless until you do that, the construction is not complete. You can see in certain areas, we have done some survey, you can see that in some areas, 92% is built. So concrete, where the water will go, it will come onto the roads, floods will be there. Short areas will be filled with water. Next, Murali Nagar. Next, Rasmalla layout, they have left out at least 32% open to the sky so that the water can percolate into that area. This is only to open your mind that whenever you are building a house, that it should be, at least some area should be there to take care of the rainwater that will be going into the soil. Next, please. Okay, this is only your Vizag, our Vizag. You can see, we just have the solid waste we throw. Even some people will be just throwing on the roads. Now, the government has taken care of this, and they are providing certain types of managing. The municipal corporation or the local authority is responsible for that. They are managing the solid waste, they are converting into energy, they are converting into organic manure, and like that, they are making use of this, or reusing materials. One thing is, first thing is, you have 7 R's. One is refuse. If you don't want it, please refuse, so that you will not be part of the disposal of this type of solid waste. Reuse, recycle. Like that, you have 7 R's to protect or maintain this type of solid waste. Next, please. And in the resources also, we don't take care of this. These are all some photographs which are taken long back in the rural areas. You can see that water, and you can see that buffaloes and other things they dwell. And most of the type of things, the organisms or contaminated water will percolate into the water. Well, some people are using for cleaning the their clothes, washing. Some people are taking it for drinking. Some people are taking it for some other use. But the people who are taking for drinking, they may not understand, they may not know that some of the organisms, contamination is taking place from their own surroundings. You can see that. And when they use it, automatically the type of diseases will proliferate. Next, please. You think that municipal corporation is supplying a good water? Yes, they supply because they treat it somewhere and they send it through the pipelines. But where are these pipelines? Just see, these pipelines are passing through the horrible type of drains. And sometimes these vessels, these type of pipelines may get damaged. You should be very careful. When you are getting the water, don't think that everything is pure water. The water also get contaminated through your systems. Through your systems, you can see the full flow of the drain, full flow of the sewage, or full flow of the drain, and you can see that the what you call pipelines. Time అయిపోయింది. Okay, వెళ్ళిపోదాం. I'll quickly, కొంచెం ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్ చెప్తాను అనుకున్నాను, కొనలే మానేద్దాం. Next, I think pass on this. Okay, next, see and enjoy. Okay, go to the next slide. See, contamination. You don't know what is happening in your foreshore. Water will be coming in the, through your rivers, but river is completely spoiled or abused. Next, please. This is one I have fought in Visakhapatnam. This is the Appugar area where they have established a sewage treatment plant, 25 mld sewage treatment plant close to the shore. They leave all the water into the shore. They collect from all the, of course, it is meant for treating, but treatment is not being done because the waters are completely, the machines are completely damaged because of the coastline. I have also told the GVMC authorities, but still they are having this type of sewage treatment plant close to the shore. Next, please. Okay. How we can change ourselves? Through education. Is it through education? We are learning, but tomorrow, now after going back, you will have your own way of functioning. You will not get into your system or brain. Once you have to have been told, you have to develop, mend your ideas and change your habits so that you will be protecting the environment. Next is availability of options. Okay, there are several options. I don't drink from the municipal water, I drink from the bottled water. So several options are there, so you don't care. Next is society. సొసైటీ అందుకనే వెనకాల తీసుకుంది, ఎందుకంటే సార్ చెప్పేసిన తర్వాత కొంత టైం తీసుకున్నాను. ఓకే, నెక్స్ట్ ఐ థింక్ sustainability is another important thing which I was stressing. Of course, you're all tired. Babu, ఈ లోపల వాళ్ళకి మాట్లాడుతున్నారు చాక్లెట్లు ఒక్కొక్కరికి ఒకటి ఆయన, అందుకనే 12 అయిపోయింది, 12:30 అయిపోయింది. నెక్స్ట్ ప్లీజ్. నెక్స్ట్. Okay. So sustainable development is meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Future generations. So you have to take care of this. So you have to take or use the resources as it is required by you, but don't take more than what you require. That is what even Mahatma Gandhi told us. Next. Okay. Economic growth, faster, responsible, long-term growth while ensuring that no nation or community is left behind. So we are all economically growing. Next, please. Conserving natural resources is another very important one. Next. Social development. We should also be positive towards the society which we are living in. Next. Okay. So we have to, their self-concept, so you are all youngsters, so what the educator's responsibility is, imagine students building their own self-concept as active citizens, helping to create a sustainable society. So we are here to tell you and make you a future individual or future citizen of India who will be taking care of the environment. Yes. Okay, these are all the problems which are. Next, please. Okay, I think already Guswami Garu gave me a signal. Next. Okay. If you protect environment, automatically environment will protect you. Take care of protect environment. Next, please. Okay, thank you for being here. I think nobody has slept. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Yeah. So, you have any questions and clarifications, please ask. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your elaborating lecture. Now I request the participants who have participated in essay writing and elocution competitions. Just I will call upon college. You please come, all the students of your respective college, and have a group photo with your certificate with the guests. Okay. First, sir, please. Yes, sir. Yes. Yes. Say this. I request Andhra University College of Law. Please come. ఎవరున్నారా? ఎంతమంది ఉన్నారు? మీరు ఒక్కరే ఉన్నారా? Come. అన్ని ఆల్ ఇవన్నీ జస్ట్ ఒక్కరే ఉన్నారు కదా. సార్ 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 అందరూ వస్తారా? అలా అందరూ అదే అదే అంటున్నా. అందుకే ఏం పర్లేదు, ఏం కాదు. ఫోటోస్ రండి మీరు కూడా.